Skippy splitting the Ferraris, taking the Pro-Am pole off of Sloth at the last minute. Then it was Syme from King Kong and Mr. Pickle rounding off the top 10 ahead of Boris Johnson. Joker down in 12th. He'll be disappointed with that. Al Newt in 13, Sainsy in 14, Rouge Nico 15 and Easy Life in P16. We'll have a short pause. I will move and turn the light on because it's getting a bit dim in here, should I say? Smug, if you're listening, the stream didn't work. So have a look at that while you've got your little break. There is a little break to get the tyre selections and strategies, fuel loads, etc. Fuel loads important here, of course, where drivers have been known to run out. So make sure you fuel your cars, boys, if you're listening. And now what I'll do is find the standings for you. And we start with the Pro, where Craggy has a big lead. Joker, in fact, has taken second from Max in Max's absence. Then it's Swanton, King Kong and Senna. It's a big lead for Craggy. Pro-Am, Skippy leads the way by 5 points from Sloth. Then Mr. Pickle, who suffered from missing a race or two. They're followed by Sainsy, 50 Gent, Rouge Nico and Speedy Bullet. And the team standings sees McLaren top by just 1 point from Ferrari. V-Carb, Williams in the hunt with Red Bull and Kick Sauber not too far back. And still all to play for as we are halfway almost through the season. Race 6 of... Just reopen that for a second.
Come on the Williams.
Senna cheering on the Williams, of course. Where is the calendar gone? It's race 6 of 12, so we will be halfway at the end of this race. No TMK today either. A little few missing today. The next chapter then in the Craggy and Max battle, but oh, Colin's been disconnected again. Problems there. Hopefully we'll be able to get him in during the formation lap, where I'll be bringing you through all the tyre selections. Don't think there will be many using the softs today, as tyre wear on this game certainly more prevalent than the previous years.
I think hard to medium.
Yeah, I was thinking similar, actually, Senna. What I need to know for my races is there a way to give yourself an extra set of hard tyres? Because I'd really... Some tracks, I'd just go hards to hards and then do a stop late to 2 laps of softs. Or vice versa, start on softs for a couple of laps and then pit early. Because mediums and softs are just, they just wear out so easily and they're like Bambi on ice on most tracks, whereas the hards I find a lot more durable. So I'll have to look into that, but I don't race that often anymore anyway. My main gaming F1 day is Monday and I'm on comms 8 and 10, as you know. So there we go.
Can you not change the tyre compound at the start from balanced to harder?
but I'm not sure. It gives you that tyre screen, doesn't it? But I've always just skipped through it. Bit of a longer pause today, maybe to do with trying to get Colin back in. There he is, back in. Don't forget, folks, at the conclusion of this race, I'll be going off for a little while, and then from 10 p.m. we'll be back again in Portimao.
It always will give you balanced. I most of the time go softer compound for Querley.
I will need to look into that. Let's have a look then at the tyre choices, and I was right, nobody on softs. Front four go for mediums, Craggy, Max, Colin and Smug. Then a raft of drivers all on hard tyres. That's Swanton, Skippy, Sloth, Syme, King Kong. Mr. Pickle, the outlier in the middle of them all, on the medium. Boris, Joker, Al and Sainsy all on the hards. Bruce Nico goes mediums. Easy Life on the hards. So McLaren are on different tyres, as are Kick Sauber. Red Bull both on mediums. They'll have to coordinate their pit stops, as will Ferrari both on hards. Williams both on hards. V-Carb both on hards. Of course, Aston Martin, Alpine, Haas and one other are single-handed today. Mercedes, there we go, with Syme. So no teammates to worry about for 4 of them today.
I want to see a great battle up front tonight.
Craggy and Max seemingly have already taken the battle, because look how far ahead they are. They need to really slow it up, or they're going to get cold on the grid here. Colin has dropped into the field and is ghosting. Maybe he's not been able to get back in his car. The gap has closed a little bit, but they're still going to be waiting quite a while here, are Max and Craggy, because some of the drivers are not round the last corner yet. Easy Life is just round in the last corner. Craggy and Max have parked. Colin has been disconnected a couple of times, so maybe he's not been able to get back in his car. I'm actually not sure. This isn't too bad a view for the start, so I'm going to not change it here. DRS disabled for the start. 4 lights, 5 lights, out they go, and off they go. And Smug got a great start. Smug got a really good start off the line and has already overtaken Colin and is in between Max and Craggy now. Max tries to dive it up the inside. Smug almost into the back of Max, and Colin is out. Colin is out. There's bits of things flying all over the place. I think Colin just suffered the connection issues. Boris has dropped to the back, and now Mr. Pickle is in amongst it with King Kong ghosting. And Kong's dropped right out the back. Mr. Pickle is right in amongst it with Sainsy. Swanton now losing places. Swanton's going very slowly. Swanton's going very slowly indeed, and has dropped all the way to the rear of the field. Not sure what happened to Swanton. Sainsy is in the gravel. Colin's rejoined, but he's been retired. Syme is in the gravel as well. Smug's now out. I think we've got a red flag. Smug is properly out. And I think we might have a red flag here, folks. Mr. Pickle's out. Bear with me, folks. Yeah, everybody's leaving. So we've got a red flag situation, I think, here. I've got no idea what's going on here. It's clearly something has crashed, because it's now showing us the game is doing its best to ruin it again. So everyone will now retire. It's now red flagged it. I'm waiting for confirmation here. Burnley 1-0 up early doors. So everyone will now retire, I think, and we'll get the... Smug has indeed confirmed it's a red flag. Craggy, Colin, a couple of others are still... So I need to leave the session and get invited to the new one, because we've red flagged this one. Lobby is bugged. So I will wait for an invite. What mail have I got in here? Fan zone stuff. Claim it. Thank you. So we give Smug a couple of minutes to set the new lobby up. Oh, there we go. Invite received.
Spectator.
Did we have another spectator? No, I don't think we did. I don't think we did. Why? Is that the cause of it, Magnatex? I know obviously we had Dean in watching last week, but Baker's been in as a spectator before when he's not been racing, and I've not had a problem, so I think it's just the game being stupid like it usually is.
Sometimes if you have more than one spectator, it can make the game crash.
Ah, interesting. Interesting. I don't think we did, but I'll let the boys know that for future reference. And anyone who wants to watch later on can just watch on my stream. So don't go away, folks. It won't be long, and the grid will be reset. .29 lap race at Qatar is going to be upon us soon. Nico joined late as a spectator to pick his seat. Ah, maybe, as Boris did that as well. It could be that. Interesting. We got 15. I think that means we're waiting on one. See if I can work out who it is. We've got two of those, one of those, two of those, two of those, one of those, one of those. Ah, we're missing Williams. We're missing Skippy. Skippy is the last one to be back in.
Hello, blog.
Hello to Max in the chat. Just Skippy to come in, I think. Still got some spaces at Portimao if you fancy a go later, Max. Let me know. Some reserve spots for Blobby Mondays. I think I've got 2 seats left. Craggy's in already, so yeah, not too bad, sir, not too bad. Apart from the game, obviously, being a pain in the arse every week. We got halfway through our race at Jeddah last week in my league, and it kicked everyone out. So we had to abandon it. But other than that, all good.
Just what we come to expect.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely terrible. Really is. But we'll continue buying the Champions Edition every year and rewarding their incompetence, won't we?
Yeah, I remember you saying, this should be a fun race though.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You've got some catching up to do after a couple of missed races. Joker taking second spot off you for last week, but we shall see. Need to start reeling Craggy in if you want that championship. Oh. Right, what are we waiting on here? Skippy, can we find Skippy?
I best go and get another cocktail then. Need some more people at the front or Craggy mistakes to have a real shot. So who's my teammate tonight?
I don't think you have a teammate tonight, Magnitex, at the moment. Your seat, NWE's seat, is one that's still available. I will have a look just to see. 2-0 to Burnley, if you're interested. Yes, we've still got a Haas seat and a Williams seat available for tonight. There's Skippy.
Another one of his mega starts.
He actually did. He got off the line really well, but the game was bugging all over the place. I'm not sure if Colin ever got control of his car. Swanton then practically stopped.
Yeah, that's becoming STMXT.
It went very...
Smug, the lights went out for me, face with tears of joy.
Absolute cat-like reaction times. Well, if the game doesn't penalise it and you get off the line, well, happy days. Right, are we getting readied up, or is he still doing the grid? Nope, we're readied up. Smug is readied up, so everybody else should be now.
At Senna _17_.
So yeah, we've got 15 permanent drivers in for Blobby Monday.
Watching this back later.
No worries, good luck, Max. 15 regular and 3 reserve in tonight with two reserve spots available. Anyone who's checked out, don't worry, your permanent seats are safe until I tell you otherwise. But first, back to DRS. Everyone, don't forget your setups. Smug has just said in the Discord as well, but in case you're not looking, listen to me. Don't forget your setups and your fuel loads and your strategies and your tyre choices, and we will be ready shortly. Not sure if he's put another formation lap on, so you will find that out when I do. We see the pit wall again in Qatar. And little extra warning for people to be careful in turn 1. I didn't actually see a lot what was going on. Can only focus on 1 or 2 cars at once, unfortunately. But we will see what happens this time around. So, take 2. Apologies for the delay, folks. Send all complaints to EA Sports and Codemasters. Who continue
you can't win it on turn 1, but you can lose it all on turn 1.
Exactly. You can't win anything in turn 1, but you can certainly lose it all there. Good point. .29 lap race ahead of us. Joker way back in the field.
And win.
We need no talk like that.
Especially my favourite track.
Especially not here or in Portugal, where both tracks have a very long start-finish straight down into turn 1, so it's a high speed once you get there. Everyone on their best behaviour, please. Now we have another formation lap. We do have another formation lap, and it's pretty similar to last time. Joker, I think, is the only one who's changed his mind. He's now going for mediums instead of hards. Everyone else sticking to what they were doing. So, just means Joker and Sainsy aren't on the same tyres now in terms of coordinating their pit stops. The Red Bulls both on mediums, the Williams both on hards. The McLarens are different, and the Kick Saubers are different. And 4 teams are single-handed. So they all come round again. A bit of a gap between the front runners. Smug taking it nice and slow in P4. Colin and Max and Craggy have broken away a bit again. And Max really aggressively warming the tyres. Colin now has come back to the rest of the field. There's a big gap between Joker in 12 and Al Newt in 13. And the remaining 3 behind. Craggy again is to the line as Easy Life comes through the final corner. Colin is this time in, no ghosting. And they all now come to the line to park. I'm going to keep this view again for the start, as we saw Smug get off the line really quick last time. DRS disabled for the start. 3, 4 and 5 lights. Big pause and away they go, and Smug again got away well and is immediately ahead of Colin, and he's going for Max round the outside. Max goes into the corner well. Colin trying to make that place back, and does make that place back round the outside of Smug, but they're side by side. Skippy has gone off. Skippy has gone off and gone to the back of the field. There he is. A dreadful start for Skippy. Craggy is in the lead from Max. Then it's Colin, Smug, Swanton, Sloth. all pretty much in the order they started at the front, apart from Skippy. Pickle is next, and he's fighting Sloth now for the Pro-Am lead, and he gets it. Into P6 goes Mr. Pickle. He's ahead of Sloth. Joker's had a good start. He's up to P8. Boris also up to P9, ahead of King Kong. Simon amongst it. He is in P10, in 11 at the moment, sorry. And Mr. Pickle's going for the other Ferrari. Pickle, and wide off goes Swanton. And Pickle makes it up to P5. Swanton sees the place to Sloth, and it goes wide again. And might have to cede another place to Joker. So bad start for Swanton. And into the pits comes Swanton. Swanton into the pits on lap 1, and he was on hard tyres. So that is not good news for him. Joker making a move on Sloth for P6. He is flying through the field at the moment. Pickle as well in P5 now. It's Craggy from Max, Colin, Smug, Mr. Pickle, Joker, Sloth from Boris, King Kong and Syme. Then Al Newt, Rouge Nico, Easy Life's up a few places. Sainsy, Skippy and Swanton exiting the pit. It's a one-stop race or a two-stop race with no sign of the softs, according to Amazon. Max keeping Craggy honest. They're very close together at the front. Colin trying to stick with them. Then a gap to Smug and another gap to Mr. Pickle. The Red Bulls in 4 and 5 at the moment. And crucially, Mr. Pickle also in the lead in the Pro-Am race. Skippy, championship leader, struggling. Bad start. Colin, fastest lap of the race as he chases the leaders. Max is having a look around the outside, couldn't get it done. Joker making a move on Mr. Pickle and up into P5. Boris is on the move, past Sloth, and Syme has passed King Kong. A lot of the overtaking will take place down the main straight with DRS. We'll try and keep you abreast of all the moves as they happen. Craggy, Max and Colin, the front three. Pickle staying close to the back of Joker as they try and chase down Smug. Sloth also sticking to Boris quite well. Newty has now come to join King Kong, as has Rouge Nico behind as well. There's very tight battles all the way through the field in these early stages. Can Max or Colin get the move this time with DRS on Craggy? Max pulls to the inside and does take the lead. Into the lead of the race goes Max World. Mr. Pickle has retaken Joker for P5. Skippy's making his way through. He's passed Sainsy and now Easy Life as well. And back up into P13 as Newty goes up the inside of King Kong. Rouge Nico trying to get involved as well. Al Newt into the top 10. Tight train of cars from Al Newt back now. Back from Syme, who's in P9, just ahead of Al Newt. Front three still separated by about a second. It's Max from Craggy, from Colin. Swanton is out on mediums. It's going to be a lonely race for him for a few laps, but he is closing the gap to the field in front of him. Craggy's going to get DRS down the main straight. Colin isn't far behind as well. Where does the move happen here? As Easy Life and Sainsy scrap. It's going to be Craggy retaking the lead into turn 1. Easy Life and Sainsy continue their scrap. And Sainsy's going to come back and retake it. Meanwhile, Al Newt's having a go at Syme, who goes wide, but keeps the place for now. Newty's still in with him and gets in front. Big move from Al Newt into P9, and look at the Sharks behind trying to get a bit of it. King Kong, Rouge Nico, and now Skippy as well. And Skippy's hit Rouge Nico, and round goes Skippy. Skippy's progress from the back halted by contact with Rouge Nico, and he is now back down to P15. Swanton will continue to close the gap to the field. A lonely race for him, as we said. But later on, as people pit, he might be back in contention. Sloth sticking to the back of Boris. They're now catching Joker. Craggy, fastest lap of the race, as he tries to get away from Max and Colin. The DRS is keeping them very much interested. Craggy at the moment cannot break away. Syme and Al Newt going at it. It's down the straight. Look at King Kong. Al Newt losing 2 places at once there. King Kong went one way, Syme went the other, and they're both ahead now of the McLaren. And it's not going to end there for Newty, as Rouge Nico's going to have a look. Didn't seem to suffer any damage from that collision with Skippy. And wide and ghosting went King Kong, and he's lost a couple of places. So now, and Al Newt and Rouge Nico come together. And Nico loses the place back to King Kong. There was definite contact there. Meanwhile, Max staying very close now to the back of Craggy. And look at Colin in behind as well. Half a second separating the top 3 as they go onto the main straight once again to start lap 7 of 29. And maybe they're both going to go for a move this time. Could go 3 wide. Colin thinks better of it and just sits in behind. Max retakes the lead. These 3 now have a 7-second gap to Smug, who is chased by Mr. Pickle and Joker and Boris, who they've now dropped Sloth. Syme has dropped nobody. He's got Al Newt, King Kong, Rouge Nico all on his case. And a gap to Sainsy, Skippy and Easy Life side by side. And Skippy round the outside, side by side still. And then finally gets that move and back ahead of Easy Life. But it's been a difficult start to the race for Skippy. Rouge Nico having a look, trying to get by King Kong. A real scrap developing there. Mr. Pickle is now really caught up to the back of his teammate. And are there going to be any team orders at Red Bull? While Pickle fights Joker and Boris, probably not, as they are not in his Pro-Am Championship. Rouge Nico's picked up the first track limit penalty. Craggy didn't make the move this time on Max, but Mr. Pickle is making a move, and Joker could make a move on both of them. And Smug goes down 2 places into turn 1. Mr. Pickle now P4, Joker now P5, Smug into P6 ahead of Boris Johnson in 7. And now Boris looking for the move on Smug as well. And Boris has picked up a time penalty. as he pushes to make a pass. He's picked up a track limits. Syme ahead of Al Newt. Rouge Nico past King Kong, but does have that penalty. Boris sticking to the back of Smug. Craggy and Colin still right with Max. Great battling all the way through this field. Al Newt now passing Syme, and back into P9 goes Al Newt. Syme not having his usual front running season, and speaking of front running, into the pits comes Smug. Max has now lost the lead back to Craggy. And Smug is into the pit lane. It's going to be a long stint on hards for him. And he drops down behind Skippy and possibly Easy Life as well. And will come out just ahead of Swanton. In fact, as he gets up to speed, yes, he just does get out ahead of Swanton. But Swanton will be glad of the company for a little while, I think. Craggy then leading the way. Max in second. Colin has been there the whole time, but has not split them at any point. Mr. Pickle, big gap back to him. He's still got Joker on his case. They may have shook Boris for now, by a second at least. Then it's Sloth, a long way to Syme, with Newty, Rouge Nico, King Kong still right in there behind him. And it's Sainsy, Skippy, Easy Life, Smug and Swanton. Lap 10 begins with Craggy. And almost contact. They were so close there. Max almost into the back of Craggy. Joker's going to make a move on Pickle. Into turn 1. And Joker up to P4, which from where he started from is very good indeed. King Kong passes Rouge Nico, and he is up to P10. They're having a good battle at the moment. The front three continue to be separated by about a bed sheet. Boris is now caught right back up to Joker and Pickle, as you see from the onboard. And Mr. Pickle's got a time penalty now. Just feeling the pressure in between these two. And went wide again there. And now is it going to be Colin's turn to make a move? No. Boris is looking for a move. Pickle's looking for a move as well. Could be going 3 wide again. Boris gets one. Now he's going to dive to the inside for the second one. Boris and Joker wheel to wheel. Still wheel to wheel. And does Joker manage to defend it? I'm not sure. Boris and Joker still wheel to wheel. And still. And Pickle, look at Pickle in behind them. Look at a feed off scrap, switch back by Boris. Still they go side by side. What a first sector this is. Boris does get the move. Incredible stuff. Boris Johnson into P4 ahead of Joker and Mr. Pickle. But that was a full sector of the course where they were side by side.
Nice work, Boris.
Brilliant stuff. And the Williams is up to P4. And that has got Senna's approval in the chat as well. Craggy, Max, Colin is your front three. It's been your front three off the grid, and it continues in that order. Max is having a look again. Craggy defends to the inside. And the three of them come into sector one. Joker has got Boris back again. Joker back up to P4. Smug making a move past Easy Life.
Now, the mediums will start to fall off.
I mean, when are we expecting pit stops then, Senna? Lap 14 perhaps? 13? King Kong for the medium runners. King Kong past Syme into P9. Swanton is now catching Easy Life as well. But we'll need to stop again after stopping on lap 1. Smug is going to try, I think, to do the long stint on the hards as he's done before. I remember particularly a Monaco race where he got a podium out of a long stint. So here go the front three. No sign of any of them pitting yet, but I'm sure the window is now open for those pit stops. Colin having a bit of a glitchy wobble. Joker, Boris and Pickle again. Here we go. And it's Joker. It's Boris around the outside of Joker. This time gets it done much earlier than on the previous lap. Look at the gaps in behind. There's Newty, 3 wide. Newty, Syme, both. Newty, Syme and Kong. And Syme, is he going to get King Kong? No. But he did get Al Newt. And into the pits again is Swanton. And that seems a bit early for another set of mediums. So maybe he's going back to his hards. He is indeed. So back to the hards for Swanton. King Kong, Syme, Al Newt, Rouge Nico still there. This has been a good battle for us, as has the front three, as has 4, 5 and 6. Boris, Joker and Mr. Pickle. Swanton now out of the pits.
Set up for Portimao, as you know him terrible there.
Well, you never know what might happen, mate. Colin's in the pits. Colin, the first one of the front three to make a pit stop then. And where is he going to rejoin? We've got Joker and Mr. Pickle both in as well. Let's see, do any of the others come in? Probably not, other than Nico maybe. And are they going to get Colin? This is crucial for Colin's race. Is he out in front of them? He's going to be right into their path. And Syme's going to be squeezed a bit here. And Syme does get Colin. And Colin has filtered back in the worst possible place into a 4-car battle. As you see King Kong and Al Newt in behind. And Colin's tyres are going to need to warm up very quickly, because it's a proper scrap going on. And contact, and King Kong's off. Off goes King Kong. I think it was Al Newt that hit him. I'm not certain of that. But King Kong off there. And now behind Rouge Nico, but not for long. Round is outside. Good move by King Kong. Rouge Nico struggling on those tyres now and being caught by Sainsy. Colin makes the move back past Syme, and Craggy has lost the lead again to Max, and they continue on to lap 15 here. So the medium tyres no problem for these two at the moment. How much time did Colin lose scrapping with Syme and Al Newt? And King Kong is glitching all over the place as well, which probably doesn't help. Sainsy now making a move past Rouge Nico, who pits. Skippy back up into the top 10. Nico will drop down behind Smug and Joker and Pickle. And Easy Life as well. Max and Craggy, surely the pit stop is coming. The hard tyre runners, let's see how far they can go. Boris, the leader of them, in P3, from Sloth in 4. Then Colin, who's pulled away from Syme quite quickly. Syme still attended to by Al Newt. King Kong, Sainsy, Skippy, all yet to stop. As is Easy Life, further back. Skippy now catching Sainsy. And the front two are going down the straight again, so they're still not boxing. And they're side by side. And Max is just going to edge out Craggy there. But Craggy keeps it in, and he's going to retake the lead, is he? Sloth is in. One of the hard runners. And so is Syme. Max managed to stay ahead. Also in are Kong and Sainsy. So that's a remarkable job by Max and Craggy to keep the tyres going so long, as well as have this battle. There we go. If Smug can actually make the tyres last to the end, he's in the top 10 now. And they're going to be 5 to 7 laps older than anybody else is. As he chases Joker. Surely Max and Craggy are going to be in the pits this lap. Are they going to be in together? No. Max continues. Craggy is in the pits. So is it undercut territory? Let's see, because we'll see where Colin ends up here. As he was right behind, but then ran into some traffic. Boris is in. So Boris is in the pit lane. Craggy has stopped and is now going again. And Colin is coming into the straight. This is going to be tight. Colin passes Craggy. Passes Boris. Al Newt's in the pits. Colin is ahead of Craggy. The undercut for Colin has got him into P2. Boris is in. Al Newt is in. Skippy is in. Smug is all the way up to P4. Boris rejoins behind Mr. Pickle and Joker. So the undercut seems to have worked the best at the moment. Easy Life continues on. He's now in P9, but he has not stopped yet. Skippy drops back down behind Simon Sainsy. So we await Max's stop to see where he will rejoin. And he's continuing on. I mean, could he be attempting medium to soft? I'm not sure. But here come the cavalry to Smug. It's Joker, Mr. Pickle, Boris and Sloth. All on fresher tyres than he.
Wash up, everyone.
Good evening, Speedy Bullet in the chat. All 16 of them still going. And Smug is now going to get passed by at least one of these. Joker, Mr. Pickle, 3 wide. 3 wide, Mr. Pickle wants the inside. Boris is trying to take Smug as well. Joker gets a bit squeezed out. Sloth is right in with them. 5 of them trying to go in the same place at the moment. King Kong and Al Newt side by side with Easy Life. Al Newt makes up the places. Sign past Sainsy there. And now Boris making a move on Smug. And so is Sloth. Or trying to. We'll keep an eye on Max as surely he's going to pit. No, he isn't.
Thanks again for taking up your time Saturday to meet up. It was a great laugh, bud.
Yeah, brilliant stuff, mate. Really enjoyed it. It was a good laugh. Max continues on. Colin is second. Craggy is catching him. Mr. Pickle from Joker, Boris and Sloth have all passed Smug now. It's been a great battle. Pickle, Boris and Joker all the way through. Craggy's got Colin for P2. And it just remains to be seen when Max is going to box. All 16 still running. Lap 19 of 29. As Joker gets Mr. Pickle. In fact, 3 of them, 4 of them at it again. Joker and Boris get Pickle. Sloth's going for him as well. This is the one Pickle wants to defend. Pickle wants to defend against Sloth in the Pro-Am title. Smug's in the pits again, so the hards haven't lasted him. And Kong passes Al Newt. I don't know if the softs last though. Smug's going to rejoin right near the back. Craggy is closing the gap to Max. Simon's got Sainsy, Skippy and Easy Life chasing him. Into the pits finally is Max. Now we'll find out. Colin has picked up a penalty. And that'll do his winning chances no good. Boris takes Joker. It is soft tyres for Real Max World. But he's going to be behind Craggy, who sets the fastest lap of the race. Craggy and Colin both will go through. And now it's up to Max to use the soft tyres to try and reel them in. Big gap then to the chasing pack of Boris, Joker, Pickle and Sloth. Sloth going for Pickle. This is the Pro-Am lead, remember. And he gets that Ferrari up the inside. Pickle will defend. And does. Good scrap between these guys. Al Newt and King Kong have been having a great scrap as well. And Newty's round the inside there for P8. They're both now ahead of Syme. Swanton passes Rouge Nico at the back of the field.
Max will be quick.
Metal Saviour's cheering on Nico and Mr. Pickle in the chat. Senna's tipping Max. He's got 4 seconds to Colin at the moment. But Colin does have a 3-second penalty. Of course, that's not Max's target. Max's target is Craggy in front. This battle in the point scoring places and the battle for the Pro-Am win is really hotting up. Pickle, of course, has a penalty, but Sloth can't get by him at the moment. We will keep an eye on the gap and all the battles as Skippy's looking for a way past Sainsy. Sloth does now take the Pro-Am lead from Mr. Pickle. Skippy and Sainsy side by side. Who gets DRS will decide that one. In fact, Skippy got DRS, but Sainsy stayed in front. But for how long? Easy Life into the pit lane. He's done 20 laps on them hards. He'll go to soft, surely. Yes, he does. That's the longest stint of the race. Max has got the gap down to 2.5 seconds to Colin, but it's still 4 seconds to Craggy. So remember, he's got to get to and pass Colin. Rouge Nico picks up a penalty. I think that's his second one. Sloth not just settling for the Pro-Am win. He's now after Joker. as Max sets the fastest lap of the race. But he's got to get to and pass Colin and then reel Craggy in. Is there enough time and is there enough life in those tyres? Slipstream for Sloth. Goes to the inside and passes Joker. Sloth up to P5 now. Mr. Pickle will try and stick with them as best he can. Kong and Al Newt having a great battle. And Kong back into P8 ahead of Al Newt. Looking behind, Skippy and Sainsbury are at it again. Cat and mouse and a late dive from Skippy. And bit of contact, bit of wheel rubbing. Sainsbury defends for now. Max is now on the case of Colin, but needs to not get held up if he's going to make this a grandstand finish with Craggy. Surely we'll get Colin down the main straight this time. Caution in sector 1, I think is for Rouge Nico. And Max has got Colin. Rouge Nico was off briefly, I think. Max has now got Colin, and you see the gap is less than 3 seconds for Craggy, and closing now. Boris seems to have shaken off the attentions of Sloth and Joker, but he does have a penalty, so he needs more of a gap as Joker goes up the inside of Sloth. And it's back into P5 for Joker. He needs to stay within the 3 seconds of Boris. Newty and Kong changing places every lap now. Great stuff from them. The gap for Max to reel in is now 2.2. Still have 6 laps to go. Colin looking like he's going to have to settle for third, especially with that penalty. Pickle has 6 seconds, and surely that's going to be too much to get him a Pro-Am victory. Sloth in prime position at the moment. Craggy maintaining the gap, 2.3 now. Sloth continuing the fight with Joker. And wide went Joker there on the curbing, and that's not going to help him. Sloth breezes by. And look at Mr. Pickle trying to stay involved in this battle. Joker has no penalty. Sloth has no penalty. Boris and Colin 3 seconds. Nico and Pickle 6 seconds. And Sainsy joins the penalty club with 3 as King Kong tries to go around the outside of Al Newt this time. And Newty defends that one. Skippy trying to reel in Smug. It's not been his day. I think back-to-back driver of the day, or certainly mentions for Skippy. But not today. Al Newt is going very well here at the moment. He's in P8. Good points for McLaren, who are leading the constructors by a point at the moment. And are on for a victory unless Max can pick the pace up a bit. It's 1.8 the gap. Pickle has got another penalty. And if he's not careful, he's going to drop further places to Al Newt, King Kong, Syme, etc. Speaking of Syme, he's got a penalty. The penalty stacking late in the day. Smug catching now Sainsy as Joker passes Sloth once again. There go Kong and Syme trying to find Al Newt once again. And Kong will go up the inside. Max Smug looking for a move on Sainsy. And the Red Bull is going to pass the V-Carb into P11. Rouge Nico in the pits once again. He not having the greatest day today. But all 16 that started are still going. And without any safety cars either. So, impressive stuff. This is the battle to watch at the moment between Sloth, Joker and Mr. Pickle. Though Kong, Al Newton, Syme might have something to say about that. Max looks held now, 1.7 seconds the gap, and it's not really coming down quickly enough. Craggy will come to lap Rouge Nico and Easy Life shortly as Sloth goes past Joker once again. Here they go down the straight again. Is it going to be Newty on King Kong? Is it going to be Syme on both of them? Syme's coming like a rocket ship here. Syme's got the pace. He's gone round the outside of Al Newt. And is he going to get round the outside of King Kong as well? He's going to try. He keeps it in there. And he only manages the one overtake there. And Newty wants it back. 1.3 the gap. Can Craggy hold out? Or is Max going to come with a late surge? In the closing stages, Syme off! Off is Syme! Syme is off and he's dropped out of the top 10 now. And I think he was with Al Newt at that point. And Smug back into the top 10 now. At the expense of Syme. Sloth chased by Joker and Pickle. Joker looks like he has the pace to make a move again. He goes around the outside and gets it done. Nice move again by Joker. But they've now dropped that 3 seconds behind Boris, who will be happy about that. The 3 of them, he could have lost a couple of places at least. But now looks like maybe he won't do that. Can Max get within the second of Craggy? The other Kicksauber you see is Easy Life. He's ghosting as he's being lapped. But Craggy may have lost some time in lapping him because it's 1.0 now. And if he can get it within the second for DRS, it's a whole new ballgame in the last 3 laps. We are within the last 3 laps. We're now going to be within the last 2 laps. They start lap 28 of 29. And Max has not managed to get in DRS range. Joker ahead of Sloth, ahead of Pickle. King Kong and Al Newt next with Smug in P10. Is it going to be Sloth's turn to make a move this time? Yes, it is. Mr. Pickle as well might go for Joker as well and does. So Joker double overtaken on that occasion. Sloth into P5, Pickle into P6, but Pickle has 9 seconds of penalties. Swanton making moves late on, passing Sainsy. And Skippy, for some reason, was slow out of the exit there. And he's going to get swallowed up by these two. Sainsy and Swanton 3 wide into the corner, and this is going to end badly, isn't it? They all managed to get through there, and Swanton is up to P11. That gap has not dropped below 1 second. It has now. Has he got DRS here? He's within the second, but was he for the DRS? No, I don't believe he was. The rear wing is not open as they start the final lap of the race. As Skippy and Sainsy continue to scrap. And Skippy picks up a penalty. Craggy has started the final lap of the race. Max is within a second, but where now? Does he get any DRS or any chance to try and make the overtake? Pickle passing Sloth for the lead of the Pro-Am on the track anyway. He's not going to be able to keep that place, of course. It's down to half a second. Max is giving it the best he can. Boris picks up another penalty. And just as the three of them fell out of 3 seconds, that's going to cost Boris 2 places to Sloth and Joker. Sainsy passing Skippy. They're having a real battle in the final lap. Craggy from Max. Max has done everything he can to close the gap. They've got Rouge Nico in front of them. But they're coming up towards the final corner. This could be another drag race to the line, as we've seen in Blobby Mondays before. It's going to be a drag race to the line. Craggy from Max, and Craggy wins from Max World in second. Colin will come across in third, and the penalty won't hurt him. The penalties will hurt Boris Johnson and Mr. Pickle, who will be the next ones over. And Boris will drop behind Sloth and Joker, so it's going to be P4 and a Pro-Am win for the Sloth. Joker will take P5, Boris Johnson in P6, Mr. Pickle P7, and a Pro-Am podium in second there. King Kong and Al Newt, what a battle they've had, but Kong takes P3 ahead of Al Newt. 8 and 9 on track, 3 and 4 in the Pro-Am, and Smug comes home for P10 ahead of Swanton. Sainsy beats Skippy to the line. Syme is next, and Rouge Nico will be the last one on the same lap to finish. Easy Life, as you saw, was lapped in P16. All 16 that started finished the race, and only one didn't complete all the laps. So another cracking race in DRS there. It's Craggy that extends his championship lead.
Well done, Craigie.
And he's going to be joining us in Portimao to see if he can get a Blobby Mondays win as well. Was second, of course, last week when the lobby bugged out. Craggy takes the win. Max with the fastest lap in second. Colin in third. The front three as they started. Sloth P4. Pro-Am Victor. Joker from 12th up to P5. Good race for him. Boris in P6. Penalties costing him P4. Mr. Pickle, penalties costing him the Pro-Am victory. But takes the Pro-Am runner-up ahead of King Kong and Al Newt, with Smug in P10 ahead of Swanton, who had to pit on lap 1 and then never really got back into contention. Sainsy and Skippy had an almighty battle after Skippy had an accident at the start. Syme way down in P14 after he had a little incident with Al Newt, but not on the pace we expect to see from Syme. Rouge Nico and Easy Life rounded them off. All 16 finishing the race. So that is it for another DRS Monday. Join us again next week. It's not the bank holiday next week, is it? No, it's the week after. No race on the bank holiday Monday for DRS or Blobby Mondays. So bank holiday Monday in a couple of weeks. No race at all. There may be a fortnight stream, depends what I do. But no race there. I am going to end the stream there, and I will be back in half an hour, or just under, for Blobby Mondays from Portimao. Still 2 seats available for tonight, so anyone who wants them, if you're watching, drop me a message and we'll get you in. Thank you very much. See you in half an hour.